Hey lovelies, how's it going? Hope all is well. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here because lately Meagan Good has been in the headlines for the dramatic changes in her skin. A lot of people made reports about this incident, but during that time those images went viral online. She had a conversation with Grace a week prior and she was discussing racism, colorism, beauty, and some insecurities that she grew up with. If you don't know who Meagan Good is, she's an actress. She began her career as a child actor and she started doing commercials at the age of 4. Good has appeared in numerous television shows, films, and music videos as both a child and an adult. When she sat down with Grace, Meagan stated that growing up in a predominantly white area caused her to have some insecurities. Even her neighbors wouldn't let her walk across their yards.
It's interesting because I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood and I dealt with a lot of racism growing up, got called every single name in the book.
Oh, wow.
And so I think, around the time I was 13 is when more like different minorities started moving into the neighborhood. So up until that point, I think I always felt that I was beautiful, but I felt like no one else saw it. So it kind of almost doesn't matter in that sense when you don't feel seen. And people would always say stuff like, when I had braids in my hair, like, how do you wash your hair? Can you wash your hair? Do you wash your hair? Stuff like that. I had neighbors whose property I literally wasn't even allowed to step foot on, like legit. And it's interesting because my sister is a lot fairer than me, and they would allow my sister to come on their property.
Wow.
Meagan also stated that once she told her teacher she wanted to become an actress, she was shot down immediately because they felt that she wasn't pretty enough.
This teacher, I said, yeah, I want to be an actress, and she told me, she's like, well, honey, that's not very realistic, and you're a pretty girl, but you're not as pretty as like girls who become actresses.
Wow.
Yes, girl.
Throughout Megan's career, she admitted to doing some drastic things to her appearance, such as her eyebrows. She had them tatted before, and recently she got an eyebrow transplant.
Eyebrow journey has been a crazy one. So I grew up in the 90s, and back then it was a super, super thin eyebrow. And so I plucked my eyebrows into oblivion, and they stopped growing back. And so when I was about 25, I started tattooing them. And then I started microblading sometime later, and what I realized is with any type of tattoo, the lines start to blur after a while, so what was stroke starts to become more of a block. We did the surgery, took hair from the back of my head and put it in the front of my brows, and now I have full pretty brows. And I feel like it gave me 10 years back.
There was even a point in time where she went to a Halloween party dressed as a night walker on a leash with Khloe Kardashian as her pimp. She did address this incident by saying, that one time on Halloween when you were young and dumb and clearly didn't think 15 years ahead, LOL, shake my head. Well, mistakes were made. Black men have deemed her as one of Hollywood's sexiest black women. It seems as if in certain points of her life she didn't feel that way about herself. She's been judged and ridiculed in the past due to her looks since being married to her husband. She was called out several times for just being herself.
BET Awards address. Man, it was such an interesting thing. Originally, I was presenting an award with Bow Wow, and then in the 11th hour, all of a sudden, I was presenting an award with Lala that was the Gospel Award. Went backstage, and it was like a media frenzy.
You are beautiful. You are beautiful.
Thank you.
You are beautiful. I'm gonna say something to you. No. This is not offensive. Yes, I do. What? There is not offensive. And the Lord let me come to push past the judgment. Hold up. Okay, because this is real. Because you have to make sure what you say and what you do match up. You understand? Okay, so we're going to cover up, right? We're going to cover
Wait a
up.
minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No. No. That is not what we're here for. She's not going to cover up. She's going to wear what she want to wear in the name of Jesus. She has been as Christian as she has been, that she is right now when she's worn whatever God wants she wanted to wear. So, we ain't doing that. No. Shoot, y'all about to see a whole nother Devon. Y'all ain't seen. Remember, I am from Oakland now.
And I noticed in a lot of interviews when she talk about church, due to how she's treated, she prefers not to even go.
If you want to correct me or you want to teach me something per se, because you feel that you should, while we're all work in progress anyway. But it wasn't in love, you know, it was very, it was almost kind of like brutal attacks I was getting on my character, on my husband, on different things. And so I wasn't ready for that. And I think the first maybe 2.5 years that I was married, I stopped going to church. I mean, I still very much was in my Bible, and my relationship with God actually only got closer. But I stopped going into church places because I felt, even if I was welcomed, I felt unwelcome.
I'm not sure what the truth is when it comes to her appearance, if it's insecurities, lighting, or just a personal choice. I don't know, but I do think past experiences, the industry, the pressures, especially living in predominantly white neighborhoods, all of that can take a toll on someone. And I feel that a lot of these public figures and even everyday individuals feel like we have to improve something in order to look like the next person, you know, because that person probably getting a lot of glory or getting a lot of shine. I noticed in the interview with Grace, she said this. She said, I always felt I was beautiful, but if other people don't feel that way, then what am I really? I try to tell people all the time, if your appearance is all people care to see, then they have no respect for your mind. There is more to you than just what's on the outer. A lot of points in Grace's interview I didn't really understand, because of the fact that she said that she wasn't insecure, but she cared about what people think. She was very confident. And in my opinion, I always felt like confidence is when you love yourself enough to not let what other people think about you change the way you think about you. A couple of years ago, Meagan Good did address the whole skin lightening situation because this happened back then, and this is what she had to say. I can't believe I'm actually going to address this nonsense, LOL. But I have young women who follow me, so I think it's important to give clarity because I believe that black and every other color is beautiful. This is for those who believe that I will actually bleach my face and entire body to try to be lighter skinned. Shaking my head. No ma'am. First off, I love my complexion. No matter what side of the spectrum I'm at any particular time. My skin looks various different ways for various reasons, from lighting to makeup, style of photography, or something as simple as weather and what coast I'm working at any given time. This is my complexion, the one I was born with. I tend to get lighter and darker depending upon how much sun I do or don't get. I love the sun. I'm a Cali girl. But as I've gotten older, and especially more recently, since I got into my 30s, I tend not to want to be in the sun as much because it ages your skin terribly. Simply put, I'm opting to preserve my skin by protecting it and only making exceptions for vacation. Also, for the rest of the people who feel as though my blonde hair is yet another way to look more Caucasian, get your life. I went blonde for the reason I went purple, and for the same reason I'll probably go green at some point, because I felt like it. Once again, I acknowledge I really shouldn't have taken the time to respond to this foolishness, but I felt moved to say something for every little brown girl that follows my page. I'm proud to be me, brown or tan, thick or thin, natural hair or weave, dyed purple or green. God bless. I'm really not sure if she will address this again, being that she already made this statement in 2014. It's almost 2020. Even though Meagan is of the lighter skin, you got eyes and I got eyes. The skin tones are totally different than they were 5-10 years ago. So something happened. Meagan has been in the industry since she was 4 years old, and we already know how Hollywood is. We know how they promote women of color that are lighter or look racially ambiguous. Everyone got a story to tell, but I feel like once someone starts changing their outer appearance, it's something more than your neighbor telling you not to walk across their yard. This had to be somebody that you had a personal connection with, in which make you want to change for their acceptance. Now, I've noticed in a lot of the stories, like for Gabrielle Union, for Little Kim, you know, I noticed it was their fathers and sometimes past boyfriends. I'm not sure what the case is when it comes to this situation. Like she said, she doesn't bleach. However, you know, it's something there. And the crazy part is the fact that I do a lot of videos about dark-skinned women, especially actresses or singers, and they're not often accepted because of their skin tone. And when I notice about a lot of actresses, a lot of their roles, like Viola Davis says, they're often, you know, either aggressive, super dominant maids or slaves. You know what I'm saying? And all throughout Meagan's career, I feel like she had a good set of roles that made her the desired one, that made her beautiful. You know, the only roles that I felt like she flipped the script is the roles that she actually produced. You know, she was always considered beautiful to the black men and black women in our community. I grew a lot of empathy for situations like this. You know, I don't judge anybody's story, and I don't try to say that this couldn't happen to them or this didn't happen to them, or because she's light-skinned, this is something that is not true. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel like the interview for me personally was a miss. I don't know, to me it just came off as if she was trying to be relatable to people that she feel were the audience. It was almost as if she didn't want to be vulnerable, and I'm not sure if that's because of some of the past things that happened. The situations where she was talking about the racism and the colorism, she was still saying she was this confident person, but then in the next breath she was saying she cared about how people looked at her or how people viewed her and if she was pretty or not. So it was just a lot that was going on with the answers. Now, I'm not downing the woman she is today. I'm just saying that I don't believe she was like that all her life. There's no way possible, especially when you walking around with a chain on your neck tied to a white woman. What are your thoughts and your opinions about her sit down with Grace? How do you feel when these celebrities go through these drastic changes? You know, your thoughts and your opinions down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.